Okay, lesson 5.2, part 2, proportions. Okay, and here's just a little note page. When you graph data and the graph goes through the origin, it is considered proportional. This is also known as direct variation. Okay, so this one, when it goes through the origin, is proportional. This is an example of it not being proportional. Okay, and then use a graph to tell whether x and y are proportional. Are in a proportional relationship. Okay, so I'll just graph this over here. Make yours really neat and stuff, but mine's obviously not going to be. So we have 1, 2, and then we're up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 1 point, and then we're 1, 4, up 8, and then we have, oops, that's off a little bit, but, and then we have 1, 2, 6, up 10. So if I draw that, it's not ever going to go through the origin, okay? And then over here, we have 1 up 2. We have 2 up 4. And we have 3 up 6. And that one does go through the origin, even though it's a little off just because my drawing was so bad. But you can also just look at the table and know. So your y's must constantly change, but as you can see, these ones constantly change, have a constant rate of change, and so do these. But this one is not proportional, and this one is. Because this one, if you were to look at every single one, the first one's 1/2, and then 2 over 4 equals 1/2, and 3 over 6 equals 1/2, so that's what makes it proportional. Whereas this was 1/3, doesn't equal 1/2, doesn't equal 3/5, you know what I mean? So that's why that one's not proportional. Okay, and then the graph shows that the distance traveled by the Mars rover Curiosity is proportional to the time traveled. Interpret each blotted point in the graph. Okay, so this is proportional because you see that it's going to go through the origin. That's what they're telling us. It's proportional, and we can see that. But we can look at these and actually come to the conclusion based on the points that it is proportional even if we didn't have the graph. Oops, I don't know why I wrote this one like that. Okay. Because this is 0.666 repeated, and so is this one. Okay. So, yeah, they're definitely proportional. So is it possible to have a constant rate of change and not have a proportional relationship? And yes, that's true. We saw that right here, and just explain it further. Like, this constantly changed the y, just like this one, but it wasn't proportional, and this one was. So just explain it a little bit in here. And we're all done with 5.2. Have a good afternoon.